we are going to look at something about water. Okay, the topic for today is things that pollute water. Things that pollute water. So, okay, that's today's topic. Things that pollute water. Okay, before we move to today's topic, let's mark the homework that you were given. 1. State 3 water bodies that evaporate to form clouds. 3 water bodies that evaporate to form clouds. And we talked about streams, we looked at rivers, and then we looked at lakes. So 3 water bodies that evaporate to form clouds. 2. Explain how rain falls from clouds. Explain how rain falls from clouds. And Kate, we said liquid water from water bodies evaporates into water vapor. Then it condenses, that it changes to drops of water to form the clouds and comes back to earth in the form of rain. So liquid water from water bodies evaporates into water vapor, condenses, that is changes to drops of water from vapor to water to form the clouds, and then it comes back to earth in the form of rain. So okay, this is how rain falls from clouds. Now let's move to today's topic on things that pollute water. Things that pollute water. And before then, let's look at our lesson objectives. Okay, by the end of the lesson, you'll be able to mention 2 qualities of good drinking water. 2 qualities of good drinking water. So if you are looking at things that pollute water, then we also have to look at what is a good drinking water. So at the end of the lesson, you'll be able to mention 2 qualities of good drinking water. And then 2, give 2 everyday uses of water. Give 2 everyday uses of water. 3, state 2 ways water can be polluted. State 2 ways water can be polluted. And lastly, state 2 ways of preventing water pollution. So, okay, to the first one, you are to mention 2 qualities of good drinking water. 2, give 2 everyday uses of water. 3, state 2 ways water can be polluted. And then the last one, state 2 ways of preventing water pollution. So, Kate, I believe if you pay attention and then you walk through the lesson with me, you'll be able to achieve all these objectives after the lesson. Now, let's begin with qualities of good drinking water. Qualities of good drinking water. You see the boy there drinking water, and then you always also drink water every day. So let's look at the qualities of the water that we drink, whether we are drinking water which is of good quality or water which is not. The first one is it should be free of particles or dirt. So you see the image there, you see the water here, and you see particles falling to the base of the container. So any water that you drink should be free from all these particles. It should be clear without any of these particles or dirt. You should have clean water. Clean water. So any water that is being drunk should be free from dirt or these particles. So if you are going to drink water and you see particles inside, please don't drink it. Throw away that water and then fetch a clean water to drink. Even if you buy a sachet water, make sure you look inside to make sure that the water is free from particles or dirt before you drink it. The next point is good water must contain nutrients like calcium for healthy growth and strong bones. Good water must contain nutrients like calcium for healthy growth and strong bones. So water that is being drunk also contains nutrients, and an example is calcium, which helps us to get healthy growth and strong bones. Okay, the next one, it must have good taste. It must have good taste. So you see that sometimes you drink water and then you feel that the taste is not as usual or what it should taste. So if you are taking in any water and then you find any funny taste, make sure you don't take it. You might get diseases or fall sick when you drink that water. So make sure that any water that you drink must have good taste. Kate, if you close your eyes and I tell you to open your mouth and I drop in some water inside your mouth, you will recognize that what I dropped is water. If it is Coke or Fanta, you also know that this is not water. This is a soft drink. So you must know water, and you must know water that it must have good taste when you are taking in. So make sure any water that you take in have good taste. The next one is water must be colorless. So if you see this glass of water, you see that it is colorless. It is colorless. So water must be colorless. If I put soil or mud inside, you will see that the color will change. And any water that you take in must be colorless. You all know the color of water. It should be free from dirt and it should be colorless. Good. Right now that you know some of the qualities of good drinking water, let's move to everyday uses of water. What do we use water for every day in our activities? 1. We drink water every day to stay healthy. So you see the boy there drinking water. And Kate, you must drink water every day to stay healthy. It is even very important to take in water first thing in the morning so that it will wash down your body system. It is very important. So if you are not doing that, start practicing it. Take in water, a glass of water or a cup of water every morning. It is good to the body. So we drink in water every day to stay healthy. Sometimes when the weather is very cold, you do not feel like taking in water. Even from morning till evening, you recognize that you haven't even taken any water, and it's not good for your body. Even if the water is cold, make sure you take in some because it will help you to stay healthy. And then do not take water that is too chilled. That is not also good for your heart. So make sure you take in good water to stay healthy every day. 2. We use water for cooking. Kids, if you look at the pan there, what is happening there? You see that a person is cooking yam. And what do you find around the yam? It's water. So we use water for cooking. Without water, we cannot cook. We always use water for cooking. Even if you want to soak your garri, you need water. So water is used for cooking. So that is one of the everyday uses of water. If you want to cook rice, you use water. If you want to eat fufu, you use water to boil the cassava and the plantain. You use water for the soup. So we cannot do away with water when we are cooking. So we use water for cooking. Then, Kate, we also get fish from water. Fishermen always get fish from water, whether from the sea or the lake or the rivers. They also get fish from water. We also use water for cleaning. So when you go to school or when you are at home and you are doing cleaning, you use water. As you see on the screen, we use water. You take in some buckets of water or a bowl of water. Sometimes you pour some detergent inside to add a little soap to it, and then you use it for cleaning. Okay, we use water for cleaning. If you go to the washing bay, they use water to wash the cars of people. They use water to wash the cars of people. Those who sell fruits at the market, They wash the fruit with water and clean the fruit before they bring it for sale. So Kate, we use water for cleaning. Kate, we also use water to wash our clothes. When your clothes get dirty, you use water for washing, as you see the woman over there doing. All the pans there or the basins there are filled with water, and then you add soap to it, and then you use it to wash your clothes. So one of the everyday uses of water is that we use water to wash our clothes. We use water to wash our clothes. Kids, what image do you see there? You see someone having a bath. We use water to bath. I believe every morning you take your bath, and every evening too you take your bath before you go to bed. So one important uses of water every day is that we use water to bath every day, and it helps us to keep our body clean, and that also contributes to healthy living. So we use water to bath. Now, let's move to things that pollute water. Right now that you know qualities of good drinking water, and then what we use the water for. Now we are going to look at things that pollute water so that you can differentiate a good water from bad water, and then you can also prevent water being polluted, because you have seen the everyday uses of what we use it for. So let's move to things that pollute water. But before that, let's look at what pollution is. When we say pollution, what does it mean? Water pollution is when water becomes impure and unsafe for drinking or for other uses. Kate, if you have your bowl of fufu and then I go and fetch any of these water that you see on the screen for you to drink, will you take it? No. Yes, you will never take this kind of water because it is what? Dirty. And that is what we call water pollution. Just look at this one with a lot of rubbish inside. And let's look at the other one too. The water looks muddy. So this means that the water is polluted. When we were talking about the qualities of good drinking water, we said that it must be clean and free from particles. So look at all these particles inside the water, and then look at the other one too, that looks muddy. So when we talk about water pollution, we are talking about these kinds of water. It should be clean, and you see that this water is polluted. This is what we call water pollution. So anytime you see water in this form, it's water pollution. And we are going to look at things that turn good water into a polluted water. Things that put good water into polluted water. Okay, the first one is, let's look at how water is polluted, as we said. And the first one is waste from homes. Waste from homes. How do we pollute water from our homes? When we bath, where the water passes to, you bath and then you throw away the water, or the water will just go through a drain or a pipe. Do you know where this water gets to? Some of these water find their ways into rivers and streams that people drink, and it pollutes them. If you look at the soakaway, if you look at the septic tank, where when you go to toilet and you flush, where it goes, you always see a pipe that you see water dripping out from it. Some of these soakaway water also pollutes rivers and streams nearby. So these wastes, when you finish cooking, sometimes if you have a small stream or river near your house, you just pour the dirty water inside that stream, and all these things pollute water. So wastewater from our homes also pollutes the water. Wastewater from homes also pollutes the water. 2, wastewater from factories and then hospitals. Wastewater from factories and then hospitals. Most factories use water for cleaning. And look at the color of this water coming out. It's black. It looks black. And look at the other one too. It doesn't have the normal color of water because water is colorless. So look at this, pouring them into streams and rivers. And this will pollute the water body that these things are getting into. If you go to the hospitals, when you get a sore and you go to the hospital to dress it, where does the wastewater goes? All those who are being admitted at the hospital, who are on admission, when they take their bath, where does this water go? Even if you go to the hospital, the mortuary, when they bath the dead bodies, where do the water go? They all end up into streams and then rivers. And some people also drink these waters from the streams and rivers. So, Kate, this wastewater from factories and hospitals also pollutes water. And then, Kate, I believe you are familiar with this kind of scene. Sometimes you see main lines leading to our homes having this leaks. So when pipelines that carry water from our homes leak, dirt can enter it, and then that dirt will travel into your taps and it will make the water impure for you. So when pipe leaks, dirt can enter it, and when it enters it, it will send the dirty water into our various homes. So sometimes you see that you open the tap and you will not be comfortable, or you see that the water will be dirty. Some of these result from the leaks that we have. Maybe the leak will be far away from you, will be very far from you, but the dirt will end up in your taps. So when pipe leaks that carry water to our homes, the dirt can make it impure for us. Okay, what are these people doing? This is what we normally call galamsey. You see, illegal miners also put chemicals and dirt into rivers and streams. And look at how dirty they have turned this water into. Because when they take the soil, they wash it in the water to see if they can find minerals inside. And by so doing, they pollute the water. They also add mercury that helps them to get the gold that they are looking for out of the soil. And these chemicals also get into the rivers and streams. So you see their activities are polluting this river. This river will lead to somebody's village or your town. And this is the kind of river that you also drink and then you also use for cooking. And look at the stage of the river, look at what is being done. So you see that the water will come to your end polluted. And it's as a result of these people and their illegal mining activities. So illegal miners also put chemicals and dirt into rivers and streams. Kids, the use of fertilizers by farmers. Some of the fertilizers also get into rivers and water bodies when it rains. So you see the farmers applying fertilizers to the crops, which is very good for the growth of the plants. The fertilizers they are using are very good for the growth of the plants. But when it rains, the rain will carry some of these fertilizers into rivers and other water bodies that will make the water polluted, or that will result in water pollution. So the use of fertilizers by farmers also gets into rivers and then other water body when it rains. And this also pollutes our water because it contains chemicals. And then the use of herbicides and then pesticides by farmers. When we say herbicides, they are the chemicals that farmers use to kill weeds in their farm. Instead of weeding, they use this herbicide to kill. They spray it on the weeds, and then the weeds will die. And then the pesticide is used to kill any animal that destroy plants. So some of these chemicals also get into rivers and other water bodies when it rains. The rainwater will wash them and then carry it into the rivers and streams. And that will make the water polluted. Okay, what you also see here, you see flooding. And look at, it rained and the area flooded. And then look at the rubbish that you see, containers, plastics, and other things that you see. So when it rains, the rainwater will carry all these rubbish into water bodies, and that will make our water bodies polluted. That will make our water bodies polluted. So this is one way that we also pollute water bodies. Anytime it rains and then the place gets flooded, you see that the rain will bring any kind of rubbish, or the water, the running water, will gather all kinds of rubbish from every corner, and then they will all be pushed into our water bodies. And this results in the pollution of our water bodies. Some also use poisonous chemicals for fishing. Some also use poisonous chemicals for fishing. So you see that, if you see the image here, the person used a poisonous chemical and it has resulted in the death of all these fishes. And the chemicals are not even good for your body, and they also get into the water bodies. You see, when the chemicals entered into the water body, look at what it did to the fish. They are all dead. All the fishes here are dead. They are not alive. In the same way, when that chemical gets into your body, you also fall sick and you may also die. So some of these poisonous chemicals used for fishing also pollute our water. And then can you look at this? I hope you have seen this over and over. Some people throw rubbish into gutters and on the streets. Look at how dirty the area is. Look at inside this gutter that you see. When it rains right now, the rainwater will carry all this rubbish inside the gutter into water bodies. And it's the same water body that you get your drinking water from. So you see that you will fall sick after drinking that water. And this is how the water gets polluted. When it comes to this thing, what you see here, most people are guilty. We just buy food and then we throw the rubbish anywhere, and it will end up in our water bodies when it rains. Good. Now, Kate, since you know how water is polluted, let's look at some of the ways we can prevent water pollution. Some of the ways. One, we should not throw or litter around. When you are in a car and then you buy anything, when you finish eating, just put it in the car. The driver will dispose it. Don't throw it through the window as you see the person doing. At the end of the day, it will end up in our waters. It will make the water dirty. We will all drink it and you will fall sick. So don't throw litter, or don't litter around. Don't throw rubbish around. Rubbish should be kept in dustbins. Rubbish should be kept in dustbins, as you see the woman doing. Make sure you just collect the rubbish, tie them in a rubber, and then put it in a dustbin so that it will be disposed of properly. So don't throw rubbish about. Keep it in a dustbin. And then we must also clean our environment regularly, as you see the people doing. Always clean the environment regularly. Behind your house, at school, any place, you should try, because our activities bring about this dirty environment. So make sure you always clean your environment regularly, so that when it rains, we will not even experience any flood. And then miners should not use chemicals that pollute water bodies. Miners should not also use chemicals that pollute water bodies. They are dangerous to our health. So miners should not use it. and they should find a way of washing the soil to bring out their gold. They shouldn't wash it in the whole water body that is going into different places. So please, if you are a miner or kids, miners should not use the water bodies to wash the soil to extract their gold. It will pollute the water, as you saw in the other picture. And then we should also plant more trees, especially around river bodies. Plant more trees. Trees also bring about rain. They also prevent erosion that washes the topsoil into water bodies. Because when it is raining and trees are all over, the rains will rest on the trees before it gets to the ground. And that reduces the impact of the rain directly on the soil. So if you plant more trees, it will also prevent erosion and it will keep our water bodies for us. And we should not also throw rubbish into water bodies. Most people do it a lot. They just tie it, and then when they get near a river, they will just throw it inside. And then gradually it will go and choke somewhere. And then these things will happen. So we should not throw rubbish into water bodies. Okay, we have gradually come to the end of the lesson. And today we looked at qualities of good drinking water, that it must be colorless, it must be free from particles, and it must also contain nutrients like calcium for strong bones. We also looked at water pollution, anything that makes water impure and unsafe for drinking, anything that makes water impure and unsafe for drinking. We also looked at human activities that pollute water, throwing rubbish anywhere, polluting water with chemicals, like what the miners were doing, and then the chemicals that farmers use on their crops, they also get into rivers and pollute our water. And then we also looked at ways of preventing water pollution. We said we shouldn't throw rubbish anywhere. We should just tie them and keep it in a dustbin. We should also plant more trees and clean our environment regularly. All these things will help to prevent water pollution, and it will also make our waters clean. Okay, before we go, as usual, let's take our assignment. What is water pollution? What is water pollution? 2. Mention 3 ways human activities pollute water. Mention 3 ways human activities pollute water. And then 3, state 3 ways of preventing water pollution. State 3 ways of preventing water pollution. So, Kate, we have come to the end of this lesson. And I believe if you went through the lesson with me, you'll be able to achieve all the objectives that were stated at the beginning. Make sure you do your homework. And until we meet again next time, this is your teacher, Ernest Atto Bentel. Bye-bye.